Hello and welcome to today's video. I'm going to be using a picture of my family in London and this plain white basil and a lot of leftovers from Shimelle Laine's Glitter Girl collection. So I've got lots of little bits and pieces and I'm going to throw those all onto this page, or some of them, and create something. I'm not quite sure yet what yet. I'm just taking off the branding strip there, but I'm going to keep that branding strip because I am going to need it in a minute. Just having a quick look through what I've got here to kind of give me an idea of what I'm going to do. I know I want to use some paints, so I have this green paint, which is a PaperArtsy Caribbean Sea, and I want to take the four colours from here. So I've taken this pink acrylic paint that I've had in my stash and never used and never opened, and I'm going to try to see if I can make it match the pink on that page there. And then I'm also going to try to get a yellow and a blue to match the various papers. So I'm going in here to take some of this Cosmic Shimmer paint, which is part of the Essential Brights collection, and I'm going to mix a little bit of the orange in here and mix this up. I'm going to be adding quite a bit of water to these because I want them watered down. Now you see me here, I've got the branding strip and I'm just painting onto the branding strip because of course this is the white paper that I'm using, and part of the white paper that I'm using, so whatever it comes up looking like, it'll look like when it goes onto the white paper. I did just take my basil and move that out of the way because I'm likely to make a mess on it while I'm mixing these colours, and I didn't originally think about doing that when I started mixing and spraying water, but here we go. So I've got the yellowy orange colour that I like. I'm putting some water into the pink now and mixing that up, just watering it down because I want to give a watercoloured sort of backwash on the page. And I'm trying to get as near to colour as I can here. What I thought, it wasn't dark enough, so I thought I might see if I can add a little bit of red to this and see what we come up with, to see if we can get a better match, and see if it looks a little bit closer to the paper. It's quite difficult to match colours, but I wanted it as close as possible to the page here. But this is not working out quite as I hoped, and the colour is just not coming out. So I'm adding a little bit more red to see what we get and to see if I can get a better match with this one. Again, I'm not entirely happy, so I've come off and gone and got another one of my Cosmic Shimmer paint palettes. This is Autumn Sunrise, and I'm spraying the three pinks in here just to see if one of them is going to be near to this colour. And let's take that first one, and actually I do quite like this, and this is what I'm going to go with. So I am just ripping up here the browning strip and putting it just into that little pink pot there, because chances are once I've done all of this matching of colours I will forget that I'm not using that pink, hence why I kept the other palette open to remind me, and I put the paper in the in with the paint that I'm not using, because I will just throw that away and wash it once I've made everything. So the blue is too bright, so I'm going to mix some of the blue in the palette here and add a little bit of black to darken it up a little bit and see if I can get a better match. The blue is quite dark, but I do actually quite like this blue in the paper pack here. There is also a sort of almost purpley sort of blue in this paper pack as well, but I didn't want to use the purple colour. I wanted to use these four colours, so I'm matching that to keep me adding a little bit more black, and I'm quite happy with that now. So I'm putting out some of the turquoise, and I'm going to water this down as well because it's quite a thick paint, and as I said, I wanted sort of a bit more of a whitewashy sort of look on my paper, and I think without doing anything to this is going to be quite a nice colour. So there I have my 4 colours that I want, just wiping my background there just to make sure that I don't get any colour on the paper. And I come in first with the yellow at the top here and just popping that down, and thinking I'm going with the pink next, but actually I might just dab down a little bit of the paint so it's not too wet, and come in with this pink. Now this pink is absolutely lovely. There's a shimmer to it. I'm not sure the camera's going to quite pick up that shimmer, but there is a little bit of a shimmer to this pink. It's quite a pretty colour. You can see it a little bit there when I move the paper like that. And now we're going to go in with the turquoise, and then finally we will add that purpley blue, and again dabbing off a little bit of the excess paint, and just to give a little bit more texture as well to the background. It gives a little bit of texture if you pat that off. So I let that dry, and I also went in and did some stitching with my sewing machine, and now I'm just trying to come in and work out what it is I'm going to use to mat this photograph. I thought I might use a couple of layers, so I do quite like this purpley star one, sort of purpley blue, so it fits in with my paint stripes still. And as you can tell, I decided to turn them round the other way, so I put the blue on the top going down into the yellow instead of the way I actually painted it. I have this new tacky, it's like a tacky PVA glue that I thought I might try. I haven't used it before, but I have had it in my stash for a long while, and I'd used all of the photo glue that I normally use to stick my photographs down with. So I like this green, and then it occurred to me that I've got the green and I could have the pink. So I'm actually going to back this photograph so that it the two meld and mash into one another. So I don't do this very often. I know a lot of people put their photographs on and they'll have a little colour on one side and a little colour on another. My OCD, I don't think it allows me to do that very often. This is as far as I could go really in it is all the way around the photograph and all the way around in an even pattern, or an even width shall I say, but I've got the pink on the bottom half of the photograph and the green on the top. So I'm just looking at cutting that. When I turned that over, I noticed that magic on that piece of paper, and I'm thinking I might like to use that. So instead of cutting right through it, I'm going to turn the paper over and use the other side. The other side on the back said "Saving the World," which is not really something that I think I would be using, or a title that I think I will use. So I wanted to keep that magic. I quite liked that. So I'm going to stick this down in place because I like this and I know this is what I'm going to do and how I'm going to have it. I do have to confess that further on in the video I did stop the video because I didn't have time to finish it in one day, and I came back and set everything up and I thought I was videoing it, but it appears I mustn't have pressed record on my camera, so adding the ephemera I didn't get all of that videoed, I'm afraid. I had a look earlier at my letters and letters here, and I found some letters that I want to put family together, but there was no T's, as is often the case. So I'm going to use these F's and cut the top part off. Again, this is part of the video that I didn't actually manage to record, so I apologise for that. But that's a good way of using some of the letters. You always end up with alphas that you can't use all of the letters. These go with the collection, so they're the right colours that go with the collection. I really wanted to use them, so I was coming up with something that I could spell out with the letters that I had. The M actually is an upside down W. And when I put it all down, I kind of wanted to move some of the colours around. So I did actually have an L, a blue L, but then I only had a Y that was blue, so I had to change that off. And now I'm looking to see what else I could have as an L. Now I have the yellow I, but that's not going to work either, so I'm going to move the yellow eye and use a yellow number 1 and just cut the top bit off to make an L, and then I go in with a darker green eye because I've used the E and the R in that colour, so it was nice to pop that into the top word as well as the two letters in the bottom word. So I know where my title, my Bramble Fox Perspective Collect Memories, is going down the bottom of my photograph. My pictures are going there. I wanted to use these speech bubbles, so I thought it would be quite nice to cut some of those out and layer colour upon colour. So there's a yellow one that says fabulous there, so that can go on my yellow stripe. There's a couple of different pink ones. There's the one that says hello. There's one that says rad, but is not really a word I would use. There's a couple of things that say cheer and sparkle and love. So I'm going to pick out some of those that go with the colour scheme I've got here. The dark blue one that says love, I really like. I really do like this one, although it's a darker blue than what I've used on the rest of the page. But actually the way it ends up being layered with the darker letters in the word, and also I'm going to put my cat on top of my Bramble Fox Perspective as well, so it kind of brings the darker colour down into in a straight line going diagonally across the page, so it kind of brings that colour match together, I think. And I'm looking through here of some of the things I might want to use. I've got a few stickers there. There's a few little boxes. There's some cameras that I really like. In the end, what I did use is one of the tags, the yellow with the pink at the top, and again I layered that so the yellow was on the yellow and the pink was on the pink, and I used a couple of words, but that's, and the two of the unicorns that were on this page was all I ended up using. So I'm just cutting around that word together, and I do ink that with a dark blue, and then I've got this word here that I'm putting on, that I'm cutting out. I think this is the sparkle. This one I've not quite got the full word, so it's going to go next to the photograph and kind of be hidden, the fact that the bubble isn't quite whole. I did like that hello, having that off the page, quite liked that, so that was fine, that worked because that one also was cut. I'm going around this one as well. My only issue with this, so I've got the pink snap with the black background around it, was the hello. These are all perfect little bubbles. They're all very neat. The colours stay the same. So you've got the green going around one, you've got black going around the pink snap, you've got no colour. But that hello, it had some pink underneath it. Now if all of them had something like that, I would have kept the bit underneath it. I don't mind going over colours or colouring outside of the lines, but when one's outside the lines and the rest are not, it does not work for me. So now is basically when my video unfortunately stopped, or I had a break and forgot to turn it on and record the rest. But I stick all those down and I stick a few embellishments down. I'm just covering over my photograph because I think it needs one last thing, which is a little bit of a white, which is a Mr. Huey's white colour mist. And I'm going to splash some white on here and just bring that down across the page in a diagonal. I hope you like this page. I'm really sorry about the bits that I missed in filming, but I've got some photographs here so you can see what I've put where, and I loved that unicorn. Every girl's got to love a unicorn. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you again next week. Goodbye.